What a day. What a day. Michelle Ferreri here in my Ottawa office. Um, it has been, absolute insanity today. The fall economic statement is supposed to be released in the fall. We are well into winter at this point, and today it was supposed to drop, and there was this mounting tension and pressure brewing between the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland, and today it erupted into a volcano because the Prime Minister was pressuring the Finance Minister to bust through her promised $42 billion fiscal guardrail. $42 billion deficit fiscal guardrail. So this is what she said in her last economic update. You know what? We have to be mindful of inflation. We have to, have checks and balances here. And she promised a $42 billion deficit guardrail, which in itself is absolutely outrageous. So let's just like the bar already is outrageous. If your bar is $42 billion or 40 billion dollars, that's a problem. Okay. So then he says, Trudeau says, no, you're going to spend more. Screw your guardrails. Do what I say, or I'll give you another job. In fact, not only will I give you another job, I'll replace you with a guy who isn't even elected, carbon tax Mark Carney, or as I like to call him, Carnage Carney. Right? Every circus needs a Carney. And so Freeland, today, it's supposed to be released at 4 p.m. in the House of Commons, this fall economic statement. And nobody's given an answer on what the deficit's going to be. Nobody's answering, nothing. 8 a.m. this morning, she releases a statement. She's quitting. She's done. She's resigning. And let me tell you, she threw Justin under the bus while she was quitting and basically said, he doesn't listen. Everything we've all said about this guy, right? Like this is the point of where you're at with this guy. Do as I say, right? Rules for thee, but not for me. And he's like, if you don't do what I say, you're disposable, right? Loyalty doesn't matter. So then it's like, who's going to?
Just one thing on that. I was actually quite surprised the level of bluntness that Freeland had in her letter and that she posted it on social media for everyone to see. I thought that was quite shocking. I was very surprised that she was that blunt.
Deliver the fall economic statement. Who's the finance minister? What's going to happen? So the day proceeds, and there's these news reports. He's going to do a statement at 2. Okay, no, it's going to be the minister of industry, Minister Champagne. He says no. Then it's like, okay, well, we'll get Randys to do it. Well, the two Randys, they're in a massive ethics violation. There has been 9 ministers, 9 gone since in less than a year. 9. Like, who is running the country, folks? Who? And Sean Fraser quit today. Sean Fraser's like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is the housing minister. This is the guy that, lost track of 2 million people in immigration, destroyed the immigration system, then tried to promise everybody he was going to fix housing with an accelerator fund that doesn't build any houses. Like, it just goes from bad to worse to bad to worse. You can't even make this up. Like, so then 4 o'clock hits. Karina Gould comes in, House Leader. Like, I don't even know how this woman looks herself in the eye because, you have a prime minister that has completely backed the bus over somebody who's supposed to be your colleague and also supposed to be like, this is the reason we call him a fake feminist is because he's the one that brings this up. He's the one that says he's a feminist. He stood on, a stage last week and this is all he talks about. It's complete hypocrisy. Like, it's complete hypocrisy. The guy doesn't, he has no use for women and he doesn't care about anybody who doesn't do exactly what he says. And he's a spoiled child. So 4 o'clock comes, Karina Gould comes in and goes, yeah, we're not reading the fall economic statement now, which is contempt of the House of Commons. Okay. So everybody's like, what do you mean? So then she comes back in like about 7 minutes later and she goes, okay, I'm going to table it. So she tables this to the House and basically overrides what is mandatory, which is a House rule where there should be, I think it's 20 minutes of House questions and answers from the opposition on the fall economic statement. They don't even want that. They don't even want any questions. You know why they don't want any questions? Because guess what the deficit is in this? Remember how it was supposed to be $40 billion was her guardrail? $62 billion. You destroy the economy, you destroy people's lives. The front headline today in the Peterborough Examiner is public health saying they have never in history seen this record high high food insecurity in families in Peterborough. Do you know what food insecurity is? Hunger, starvation. Like it's a polite way to say people are going hungry. $62 billion. So this is as serious as it gets, guys. So now, who's the only person responsible for keeping this guy in power? Like you can't even write. You couldn't even write this if you tried because it's just so. It's diabolical at this point, right? Like the human consequences to policy is real, and this guy doesn't. He doesn't care. He's out making some TikTok baking over the weekend. And she told him on Friday she was quitting. And they still didn't have anybody to take her place. Like $62 billion in Canada. It's... So Jagmeet Singh, if you really say you care about people, like, come on, man. Come on. Do your job. Do your job and vote non-confidence for this guy. Like, the Titanic is sinking. And you know what? It's not just a metaphor. It's not just a book and it's not just a number of 62 billion. It's people's lives. And if you didn't get a chance to see Pierre Poilievre's speech in the House after this, please do, because he tells a very real story of the very real human consequences of bad policy. And if you think that politics is toxic and politics is bad, this is all politics. The suffering that you have all comes back to legislation and politics. Justin Trudeau will go down in history as the worst prime minister in history. He's dangerous. He's dangerous. It's not just incompetence. It's not just egotistical. It's not just narcissism. It's dangerous. And, the only thing I can say, guys, like, keep sharing, keep talking. And if you were a Liberal, if you're an NDPer, the suffering should force you to question what you thought you knew. And you cannot keep standing with these men. And Jagmeet is as guilty as Trudeau. $62 billion. Yeah. You want to see suffering go up? Put people in survival mode. You want to see division, you want to see hate, you want to see anger, you want to see frustration, take away people's ability to feed their family. Take away their ability to be able to afford a home. You want a united country? Give them back their paycheck. Give them back autonomy. Give them back freedom to go to work and be able to provide for their family. That's what we're going to do. This fall economic statement it's ridiculous. You can't spend your way out of debt and you can't keep spending money on the same ludicrous things that got you here in the first place.
Oh, her camera just glitched there. That's pretty much all
Yeah,
she's
I'm
got to say
reading
about
some here.
that.
Sue Field, I'm reading your comments here. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, guys.